Oklahoma, the heart of Middle America. This gigantic freeway links the East Coast to the West. It's one of the most heavily used roads in the country and also one of the most dangerous. Ben McCand tries to keep law and order out here. He's the sheriff of this freeway, directing a team especially created to fight against the excesses of truck drivers. These monsters of the road certainly keep him busy.
And there are truck drivers out here that they think they own the road because they're the biggest vehicle. That's not the case. This road is to be shared by everyone, and whenever they start doing that, that's when people start getting mad at them and they'll call in on them. We get reports every day of a reckless truck driver.
In the US, there are no speed cameras on the roadsides. Ben has to catch reckless drivers in the act. But this system is far from adequate, and the drivers clock his marked car from far off and alert each other by radio. To try and beat them at their game, Ben has an additional weapon in his arsenal, his colleague, Eric, up in the sky.
Okay, they've got a pursuit right now.
Okay, we have a pursuit?
He's just spotted a heavy goods vehicle, which seems to be driving at more than 70 miles per hour. Eric's method for catching speeding drivers is far from high-tech. Using a stopwatch, he counts the time taken between 2 points, then does a quick calculation.
Pow! 89 mile an hour, 93 mile an hour, so 89, 93, 12. Nice.
And it's a method that works. The driver is traveling 20 miles over the speed limit. On the ground, Ben pulls the driver over. He quickly discovers that speeding is not the only area where the trucker is at fault.
It's a Ruger 44 Magnum Super Blackhawk.
He doesn't have a license for the gun he's carrying, and what's more, it's loaded.
A lot of these drivers out here, they drive cross-country. They'll go from state to state delivering loads. They can have a firearm in a vehicle as long as they have a permit to carry it. What that trooper is going to do is write him a ticket for his speed, a ticket for lane change, and a ticket for transporting a loaded firearm without a permit. The trooper will keep the ammunition, will give his weapon back to him, let the guy go on down the road.
After a telling off, the driver is let go with a $360 fine, but it remains to be seen if he's learnt his lesson. Speeding, working crazy hours, driving under the influence, truckers are the bad boys of the freeway. Can they be trusted to control such powerful and potentially dangerous vehicles? This trucker attempts to escape from the police, leaving behind him a path of devastation. He seems unstoppable. The police eventually stop him by shooting out his tires. Last year, heavy goods vehicles were involved in 41,300 accidents, causing large-scale damage and sometimes resulting in fatalities. 4,800 died, and more than 100,000 were injured. Ben never knows what each day on patrol will bring.
A couple of times I've stopped trucks, guys were acting pretty nervous. We've stopped a few trucks and found a big load of dope out of the trucks or a big load of money.
In the US, truckers have earned themselves a bad reputation. High-speed chases, drug issues, and immoral behavior. Just a few of the excesses that have made truckers in America infamous. We take to the road with former Marine Leon. He left everything behind to make his fortune with his articulated lorry.
I've been broken in as a truck driver. They say that if you've been driving a truck for 2 years or more, it's in your blood.
There are plenty of surprises in store for those new to the job. On the one hand, there is the glamorous side of the profession. These guys get together once a year in Las Vegas to compare their various different trucks.
Big Mike here are gonna go inside the big sanctuary.
Oh my gosh!
On the other hand, there is the more publicized and shady world of the service stations. Caroline, a former prostitute, used to work the truck stops.
Is it the BP by Maple or the one further down?
Today, she is trying to help women break free of this nightmare.
Here. I gotta do something, Barbie, or I'm gonna die out here.
Prostitution, drug dealing, and even serial murder. Investigator Pat Postiglione is the man tracking down lawless truckers.
You have several serial killers out there killing girls all across the nation. And the reason why they become difficult to find is because they are long-haul truck drivers.
So, how to survive this jungle of a freeway, where the power seems to be in the hands of those with the biggest vehicles? Be independent, hit the road, and maybe make your fortune. For many Americans like Leon, becoming a trucker is an accessible dream. No need to complete your studies. All you need is a driving license. Leon left the forces in order to become an independent driver. He has just started in this profession and is often surprised by what each day brings. He invested all his savings, $31,000, into this truck. The truck is his only home, and spending your life in a 5-meter squared cabin isn't always easy.
Yep, this is my house. Keep my socks here, my underwears. Yeah, this is my refrigerator.
It keeps everything cold and ice. I can put ice cream in here.
Some belts. I got some vitamins, you know, and then I got this. Yeah, well, it could be a kitchen, whatever you want to put in there. I live in this truck. I work in this truck. It's kind of like prison, I guess, you know, but you try to enjoy living in here.
In a good month, Leon makes over $5,000, but he's starting to get a bit disillusioned. Halfway to New York, where he is to deliver his goods, he stops at the biggest truck stop in the US, the Iowa 80. It's a gigantic service station reserved for truckers that stretches over 1 kilometer of road.
I spend all my time here. This is like my second home besides my truck at the truck stops here. They got showers, you know, restaurants. They got, junk food. Pretty much everything what a truck driver needs.
The service station is a space for truckers to refuel and catch up on sleep, but also it's a place to catch up and show off their trucks.
This one's a Freightliner Classic.
For truck manufacturers, these service stations are ideal showrooms to entice future customers. Unable to resist the temptation, Leon is like a kid in a sweet shop.
Wow, too bad they didn't give me the key.
But new trucks don't come cheap.
Very nice. Ooh, clean and expensive truck. Very expensive. I would say this is like over $100,000. Yeah, it's more than some houses. You know?
In the US, 75% of all merchandise is transported by truck. Leon has no problem finding work. Advertisements from transport companies are displayed on this screen at the truck stop. For his next mission, Leon is spoilt for choice.
All these ones from city to city, it's picking up like Iowa or Illinois, and this is where it's going to, different states and cities.
At the bottom of each ad, there is a phone number. Leon need only make a quick call to land the job.
You got anything picking up tomorrow? It picks up tomorrow and delivers 7:45 on what day? All right, sir, thank you very much, sir. Can I call you back?
Leon has just found his next job. He'll pick up televisions in New York to deliver to Los Angeles, a trip that will take him cross-country through 11 states.
I can pick it up today or tomorrow.
At the truck stop, they've thought of everything to keep the truckers happy. Cleaning facilities, a games room, cinema. There's even a dentist and a hairdresser, where Leon regularly stops off.
Barber lady. Just sit right here. And to take off my, I put my hat right here. Oh my goodness, I look like a truck driver.
Leon appreciates these creature comforts, but it isn't enough to beat inherent exhaustion and the loneliness of the job. After 500 miles behind the wheel, he gulps down a taco in this anonymous-looking restaurant where no one speaks to anyone. It's only 9 p.m, but Leon goes back to his cab. It's safer. At night, the truck stop becomes a much scarier place. After dark, these service stations become a marketplace for prostitutes and drug dealers, looking to the truckers for business.
And how long have you been working on the truck stops?
About 99.
All right. And it works well, or?
It's so-so. Police get hot. Other than that, it's controlled.
Depends.
It's a dangerous area. Oh, people been killed.
Oh.
Matter of fact, just today, some guy got his head busted up there, blood all over the sidewalk. So that's why just be careful what you're doing. You're in an area where they sell drugs.
Okay.
And so...
You sell drugs?
Yeah, drugs. So they'll knock you in the head for $2.
Every night, Caroline enters the shady world of the truck stops. She's well aware of the danger the women put themselves in. Tonight, she's on a mission to help lizards of the parking lot, the truckers' nickname for prostitutes. She'll find them loitering amongst the trucks in search of punters.
This is where they'll come and they'll knock on the trucks. Back here, you can see how the girls can make quite a bit of money out here because there's tons of trucks, and if you get 5 trucks and you make $50 a truck, you know, you're bringing in $300, $400, $500. And you could charge them more out here because they don't know what the going rate out on the street is.
Caroline hangs around the trucks, ready to intervene if the women need her. They know that her phone is always on in case of an emergency.
Hello? Is it the BP by Maple or the one further down?
On the other end of the line is Dasha, who's worked the truck stops for 20 years. She's addicted to crack, and tonight she has hit crisis point.
All right, thank you. Bye. She's one of my toughest clients that I have to deal with. She has 4 kids, and her mom has 3 of them, I think. She's had a baby die on her in a crack motel. She's been through a lot.
She's under crack?
Yeah, and she uses IV. She shoots up cocaine. She has actually tried to kill herself. She walked out in front of a car about 9 months ago and was hurt really bad.
Dasha is waiting for Caroline in front of her pimp's house. She seems completely lost.
There she is. Do you have shoes on? Oh, okay.
I just want out of here. I gotta do something, Darby, or I'm gonna die out here.
Caroline decides to drive Dasha to the nearest detox center.
You guys give me a bus ticket to Tahlequah, my nieces. I can't do it anymore,
I know. Well, today's Saturday, so you'll get out on Monday or Tuesday, and then you can go down to rediscover, all right?
Do what? I want off this fucking avenue. Off this fucking dump. I can't do it anymore. You pop.
No, I don't have anything.
Having fallen out with her family, Dasha saw prostitution as her only option. Now her world is the truck stop and its sordid atmosphere.
My son's birthday was 2 days ago and I didn't realize it. I don't even know fucking old he is, Carolyn. Talked to my grandma tonight. She asked me if I knew God. You know how stupid that is coming from my grandmother? She doesn't even know God. So are you right with Jesus?
Yes, sir.
Caroline leaves Dasha at an emergency shelter for drug addicts. She will stay there for 2 days. Caroline knows that it's an uphill struggle, but it is possible to get out of it. Addicted to crack from the age of 14, Caroline fell into the clutches of a pimp when she arrived in Missouri. In her little house in Kansas City, she shut up all the bad memories in this grey shoebox. Crude photographs from the evenings she spent with other prostitutes to entertain lonely truckers.
These are just the pictures of the house where we lived and the girls that we had in the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 girls. It was just one big party for days until you passed out. That's me right there.
Caroline can empathize. She was once under the control of a pimp and lost all control over her life.
This is the guy that made all the decisions. He ran everything. He would take us all out to the truck stop. He'd be like, don't come home until you have like $300, $500, till you have your share. There's times when I would be doing oral sex with a man and just fall asleep from having been up for so long, you know? Or if you just sat there long enough, you would just fall asleep and there wasn't anything you could do about it because your body, after a certain amount of time, just gives up.
Her ordeal went on for 3 years. Today, the pimp is in prison for drug offences. This evening, Caroline found Dasha shelter, but in 2 days' time, will she manage to prevent her from falling back into the hell of the truck stops? Dawn is breaking at Iowa 80, and Leon is getting ready to head off again. The other truckers in the parking lot often surprise him. This morning he met Jonathan from Texas, a Kung Fu fan.
Wow, that was good. It's very good. And you lost?
60 pounds so far.
68 pounds?
60.
60?
Yeah, we got 15 more to go.
My mom told me lose 50 pounds and she'll look for a girlfriend for me. So I got to do something too. It's good though.
Starved of company, Leon takes a moment to chat, but he will soon face a stress common to all truck drivers, the fear of arriving late. He only has 5 hours to deliver his goods. He panics at the slightest delay.
Oh no, that's ain't it. Start. What street did I say? I was going the right way at first. Man, just got a little lost. Sense of direction a little bit. That's it.
It's imperative that the truck arrives in accordance with the client's schedule. If the cargo arrives late, it's the truckers who are fined.
Will probably get mad at me because I'm late, and then he might actually deduct my pay because I am late. And say, well, we're going to take $100 or $50 or $100 or $200 away for you because you were late.
This time, Leon is okay, but it's been a stressful day. The goods are unloaded just in time. Leon leaves immediately to pick up the televisions.
Alrighty, guys. I'm off to the road now. Another adventure out in the road. Many miles to drive.
He schedules his deliveries back to back without a break. Making money in a country where truckers are king of the road, some drivers have constructed small empires. On a hill above San Diego, California, stands a luxurious villa. It belongs to Marie and Bill Sandwick.
Did you drop something?
Their property measures 400 metres squared, has a breathtaking view of the valley, a jacuzzi on the terrace, and a collection of racing cars and boats in the garage.
It's just a car that we restored. We had it restored. We had it all painted again and restored. It's a 70 silver anniversary Corvette from Chevy.
The Sandwicks made their fortune out of their transport company. Bill used to be a cabinet maker, but at the age of 40, he jacked it in to buy a truck and became self-employed. His speciality is transporting marble paving stones, something that is in high demand in the homes of California. The Sandwicks' order book is always full. Keen to remind people of their success, they even pave the floors of their show trucks with the marble.
This truck was actually our first show truck. The floors on this truck are stone granite from Europe. They've got etching on the glass. The mirror brackets, our son made these mirror brackets. These are all custom billet, which is made out of one piece of aluminum. If you're looking at a truck like this, minimum $150,000, minimum.
These days, there are 15 employees of the Foot Soldiers. Bill and Marie are not preparing for a delivery, but for an important occasion. In 3 days' time, they will present 2 of their trucks at a beauty contest in Las Vegas, a prestigious competition that can make or break a business's reputation. Marie is counting on her cushy interior to bring home a prize.
This is, it's basically at a race. What you would do is you would come up here and just get cool, the air conditioner would be on, and you would talk about what you're doing. It's got a microwave in it, it's got the refrigerator and the freezer, and this is my favorite room. This is the bathroom.
The Sandwicks take scrupulous care of their trucks.
Even small details, the dirt around the screws, they'll raise this up, they'll look underneath here. Take the polish and the dirt out with my knife, and I take the straw and...
The jury will also take into consideration the employees' turnout, an area that is looking far more problematic.
That was the shower? What is the matter with you? Get in there and get the shower. Let's go. Not out here. Don't undress out here. Inside.
Sammy, one of the drivers, is excited at the prospect of going to Las Vegas. Will the Sandwicks be able to keep control of their troops in Sin City? In a place where anything goes and casinos and strip joints open 24 hours a day, there's plenty to tempt them. Vegas comes around only once a year, so there's no question of sleeping in the truck. Bill and Marie have checked into one of the most famous hotels in the city.
We made it, yes!
This evening, Marie advises her team to take it a bit easy. But she is concerned because in Las Vegas, temptation is everywhere. So the boss prefers to put her drivers on guard, especially Sammy.
If you stand there, you'll be in trouble in 5 minutes. You get over here. Yeah, I saw you looking. You want to go inside. Sammy's the jokester. He's always joking around. Get it.
Say hi.
No, hi. They say hi. Oh, then they get your wallet.
No.
No, talk to nobody. Don't ask for nothing. You stay right here.
Marie's not wrong. There are many hazards in store for the truckers in Las Vegas this evening. With 60 men to patrol 140,000 miles of freeway, Ben, the traffic cop in charge of the heavy vehicles unit of Oklahoma, has difficulty keeping law and order. He gets his revenge but once a year, during the big road check, a giant inspection carried out simultaneously on all the freeways in America.
We check the driver, his logbook, we check his driver's license, we check his medical card. If a driver is ill or fatigued or he's sick, then we can place him out of service.
Even during these exceptional checks, the police are ill-equipped to assess the drivers. While in Europe, lorries are fitted with tachographs to indicate their speed and journey time, nothing of the sort exists in the US. American drivers are trusted to record their schedules in a notebook, but most of them don't take the time to fill them in. Ben stops the person in charge of this convoy transporting a wind farm. His first concern is to check the driver's levels of fatigue.
Let me see your logbook. You have a logbook? How come?
Without the logbook, Ben has no way of knowing if the driver has been on the road for longer than the 11-hour limit.
All right. Well, I'm going to do with you, driver. I'm going to put you out for 10 hours with no logbook. All right?
He has to take his truck off the road for a 10-hour break and pay a $120 fine. This unexpected stop means he'll arrive late for his delivery and his client will be angry.
Stupid law they come up with to make more money, getting where a man can't run his own business or private enterprise without getting screwed.
Ben is aware that some drivers work to the point of exhaustion in order to complete as many deliveries as possible, risking catastrophe. This summer, he has seen many fatal accidents as a result of tiredness.
This thing just went.
Okay.
The driver fell asleep at the wheel. He hit 6 other vehicles at 70 miles an hour. 10 people were killed. American freeways stretch for hundreds of miles in a dead straight line, the biggest trap for drivers. Some drivers turn to drugs to help them stay awake. The drug of choice is methamphetamine, or as it's more commonly known, meth.
I have to warn you, the pictures you're about to see are really, really tough to look at. We're bringing out in the open the terrible toll of methamphetamine addiction. The National Institute on Drug
2 years ago, this report sent shockwaves through the trucking community. It charters the drawn-out suffering of Sean Bridge, a driver addicted to meth. His friends filmed his decline over the course of several months. Dozens of truckers journeyed to his funeral. Truck driving runs in the Bridge family. Sean's father, Jack, is a truck driver himself in Illinois.
I taught Sean to drive. I took him out on the truck with me. Taught him to drive when he was 15, 16 years old. He was a fantastic driver, but he set out on his own, and he got to doing things he shouldn't have done, evidently.
Passionate about trucks, Sean frequently drove from East Coast to West, far from his wife and 3 children. He ran from contract to contract, in spite of driving over the 11-hour limit while tired.
These are pictures of the last 7 years of his life here with Peggy, his wife. I believe that he probably started using meth as a way to increase his productivity and be able to stay awake and make longer runs. I think that's what he was doing because he was trying so hard to be successful.
Meth is a popular stimulant, giving users a jolt of energy, but the effects on the body are irreversible. On the left, we see a photo of the driver before he became dependent on the drug. On the right, the same man 2 years later. Weight loss, self-mutilation, becoming more aggressive, and premature aging. In the US, thousands of truckers have tested positive for meth, and Sean's is not an isolated case. His family want his ordeal to serve as a warning for the profession.
I love ya. And I'll talk to you later, okay?
Take it easy, man.
See you later, Sean. Bye-bye.
He couldn't speak, he couldn't walk, he couldn't hardly move, he couldn't do anything for himself, and he had to come back from that very slowly, and he was. He got to the point he was walking just a few steps by himself. He was getting himself up out of bed. His body was shutting down. He just, He couldn't fight it off anymore.
Sean died from his addiction to meth in March 2007 at the age of 35. Hellish schedules, exhaustion, stress. Truck driver Leon is getting used to it. He says he never touches drugs, but his family is concerned about him. Today, he's in Santa Cruz, California.
How you doing?
His family live here. Leon only allows himself a week off every year, so this is a rare opportunity to catch up.
Tweeters too much.
His trucking lifestyle worries his sister, and she's watched while he's slowly distanced himself from society.
The truck driving has gone to his mind. It's made him a little, a little cuckoo. I personally would like to see him, I don't know, do something else. I think he could do something that would be a little healthier for him, you know, and where he's not away from home so long. Because if he's away for so long, I mean, I worry that, you know, he's not going to meet somebody.
Yeah, I guess maybe, let's see, maybe 5 more years, and I'll probably find somebody new.
Leon is allowing himself 3 days off. It's his maximum. He never stays put for longer than that. After spending so long on the road, he's becoming addicted to it.
I've been broken in as a truck driver. They say that if you've been driving a truck for 2 years or more, it's in your blood. And then there's a 5-year mark. Once you're in this business for 5 years, you're in it forever.
Leon hasn't quite reached that stage yet, but some truckers cut themselves off from the rest of the world completely, with sometimes dangerous effects on their mental health. Some have even committed murder. Nashville, Tennessee, the town famous for country music and Elvis Presley, but Nashville has also become home to a series of crimes for which truckers are the #1 suspects. The FBI has even created a special unit to tackle these offences. Thanks to this unit, Pat Postiglione was able to solve a spine-chilling investigation.
Cold case unit right here. This is supervisor's rooms right here. This is where the detectives are located in this room. You can see the detectives have all the cubicles are in here, and there's 6 detectives in here.
Pat's investigation started with this map. It pinpoints murders committed at truck stops. In all, 500 people have been murdered, the majority of them women working as prostitutes.
Probably means is you have several serial killers out there, not just one. You have several serial killers out there killing girls all across the nation. And the reason why they become difficult to find is because they are long-haul truck drivers, and they can be in the Northeast on Monday, and they could be in Texas on Wednesday. And they could have killed 2 or 3 people, and it's very difficult to make a connection from the Northeast down to Texas.
Pat believes that dozens of serial killer truck drivers are operating along the country's freeways. It's here, in this Nashville suburb, that he confronted his first trucker serial killer.
Police arrived. They found a female, Sarah Holbert, had been murdered and left on the back side of the truck stop. She was laid down, and it was assumed and worked by our unit, and we determined that there was a high probability that we're dealing with a serial-type killer.
Sarah was only 25 years old when her mutilated body was found in a ditch. She had been killed by a bullet to the head. Sarah was the mother of 2 little girls and lived with her aunt and sisters. It is now up to them to look after her children.
You're silly.
This is Sarah, and these are her girls. This is Georgiana, the youngest, and that's Gracie.
We saw something on the news that morning that a young girl was murdered at a truck stop, and you know we didn't think anything about it. Well, Sarah had gone missing before, and we hadn't talked to her for several days, and then she come back up because of the lifestyle that she chose to live.
They didn't even let me see her after she died. I didn't get to see her then.
Sarah was a sensible girl, but after her mother died, she lost her way and fell into drugs. She was only 13 years old. To pay for her crack addiction, Sarah worked as a prostitute at the truck stops.
She did try to change, you know, several times, but the drugs the addiction to the drugs just overwhelmed her, and she couldn't let it go.
As part of his investigation, Pat Postiglione went through all of the footage captured by the surveillance cameras at the truck stop with a fine-tooth comb. He spotted a yellow truck that became a cause for concern. Pat started tracking it. It reappeared regularly at the crime scenes. Just a month after the murder, a stroke of luck occurred. The yellow truck pulled up once more.
Right where you see that blue truck, I saw the yellow truck. Right there, same thing, exactly what we're seeing now. And I got into the left lane and I got a better look at it, and he slowed down. He slowed down right where this police car is. He slowed down right here. And I told my detective I was going to follow him, and I didn't realize what he was doing, but what he did was he turned up this street. He turned, and when he did, I turned behind him, and we drove down this way.
The driver was hanging around the truck stop. Pat Postiglione tailed him, then decided to approach him.
I saw some blood on his fingernails, and then I saw some blood on the door, the inside of the driver's door. Saw a few spots of blood, and just something told me probably would be a good idea not to let him leave until you look inside the truck.
Inside, Pat found a knife, electric cable, and a bin bag full of blood-stained clothes. In the cab, there was a .252 long rifle, the same model used to kill Sarah. The driver was immediately arrested and identified as 58-year-old Bruce Mendenhall. He awaited trial whilst being detained at police headquarters, a stone's throw from Pat's office.
In this case, I mean, he was not much different from other truckers that we meet. You know, probably a sociopath, probably has no conscience whatsoever. Could probably kill somebody and then go out and eat a hamburger.
Bruce Mendenhall admitted to murdering 4 women, but the investigators accused him of committing a further 3. All of his victims were prostitutes. In Kansas City, we meet up with Caroline, the guardian angel of the working women at the truck stop. In the space of 10 years, she's seen 50 women disappear. Their passing often met with widespread indifference.
Board right here is the girls that have passed away or are missing. When it says wings, it means that they're passed away. And then some of them say last seen, so they're missing girls.
Stories circulate that women have been held captive for days on end, others beaten to death. Caroline and her friends have all found themselves in extreme situations.
I've been in some bad situations. Because sometimes they want to keep you in the truck, you know, and take the money back, or, you know, be forceful with you and stuff like that, you know. They don't like being on the road alone, and they figure, well, if I buy dope or give you money, you know what I'm saying, and then I'll have you as my sex toy too, you know.
These girls, when they've been up for days on these drugs, will sometimes fall asleep. And so they'll wake up and they'll be in other cities and states and won't even realize where they're at. And, you know, that could be really scary for them.
In Kansas City, nearly 1,000 women work as prostitutes at the truck stops. So the need for Caroline to continue with her work is ever present.
Up here on the right-hand side in about 5 blocks is a big corner where there's a lot of prostitution. Oh, there's a girl right there. Hey, I'm with Veronica's Voice. We're handing out condoms and stuff today. There you go. Okay? All right, thanks.
But on the street corner, there's a bad surprise waiting for Caroline. Dasha, the woman addicted to crack, has fallen back into prostitution, despite her time spent at the rehab center.
Sunglasses. You need some condoms?
Yes. Caroline wasn't able to do anything for Dasha. Despite her best efforts, prostitutes are drawn to the truck stops out of desperation. But the girls aren't the only ones looking for the truckers. Suzanne and Mike have been doing the rounds in the parking lot for years, but with a very different purpose.
There's one. Right here, babe.
Hey, how you doing, man? Chaplain Michael. We're just going around the truck stops. We got some yellow DVD that we're giving out messages you listen to. So when you get lonely, listen to it. I think it'll help you.
These two evangelists do the rounds at the truck stops nearly every day in a bid to rescue those who have lost their way.
Good. We just came by to drop by and say hi. I'm the chaplain for truck drivers, so you know we have a chapel over there. But we're there for you guys.
These truckers had just settled down to a peaceful barbecue. They now find themselves roped into an improvised prayer session.
Lord, we come before you, Father, Lord. We just thank you for these guys here and for their wives, Lord, and their girlfriends, Lord. And I pray, Father, that you would just protect them, Lord. Father, let them make some money, Lord. And Father, bless their families while they're away, Lord. It's a tough life for them, Lord. And I agree, they don't get the due they're supposed to get, Lord. But Father, sometimes the due, if you will, comes from you, not from us. Amen. Amen. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you.
This evening, Mike and Suzanne will hold a service. Their chapel, located in an articulated lorry, blends into the scenery perfectly. There's room for 20 people inside, a crucifix and religious imagery adapted to appeal to their audience. And musicians create the right atmosphere. In the background, Suzanne offers her own interpretation of communion. Crackers take the place of the bread, and for the wine, grape juice does the job.
Opens prison's doors, sets us captives free. It's symbolic. A lot of people don't drink, and so we don't want to serve wine in, respect out of them. Plus, they have a lot of temptations out here on the truck stop, such as prostitution, drugs. There's all kinds of temptations, the sale and stolen goods and all that.
When they arrived at this truck stop, Mike and Suzanne thought they'd only stay a week.
We got you, brother. We got you. I pray right now, Lord, that, Father, you would meet Willie's needs, Lord, Father. Give him a place to live, Father. Yes. Give him a job, Lord. Yes. Father, the next time we see Willie, he's going, man, I got myself a job. Yes. And, Lord, it's going to be from you, Lord. Father, you're the miracle man.
But having seen the size of the task at hand, they've decided to stay for at least a year.
Yes.
Back in Vegas, it's the big day for the Sandwicks. With just hours to go before the competition, Marie has got problems with the staff.
Call Sammy.
One of the drivers has disappeared.
I'm gonna go over and see if I can get a hold of Sammy at the hotel. I was gonna call him, but the phone is off. The phone is off now.
Sammy was last seen in a bar the night before. There's been no news since.
Hey, what happened last night with Sammy? He played all night. He probably played about, what, 12 hours? Where have you been? Huh?
Stealing my money. 2 ladies.
They stole your money? How much?
2,000.
2,000? I thought you had 14.
The police.
And then what happened? A couple hookers came along?
Those massacres and stealing the money.
The hookers. You know it's Vegas, it's not safe. What'd they do? How'd they get your money? They just was talking to you nice and grabbed your wallet or what?
Without in a room.
Oh, they took it. Oh, so now we have a problem with you had some girls in the room.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, okay.
A month's salary stolen in one night. The girls took the trucker for a ride. It's a classic ruse in Vegas. His boss's warnings fell on deaf ears.
He's not finished. He'll be sick in the morning.
A semi-comatose employee lying on the sofa doesn't do much for the company's image, and what's more, the competition is looking fierce. The most beautiful trucks in the country are there. From the condition of the engine to the unique decoration, every little detail counts. Tensions are mounting amongst the contestants in the parking lot.
You're not out for the beauty contest?
Yeah, I'm out for the beauty contest, baby. You know that.
Although this guy may look like a hillbilly, he's actually one of the most successful people in the trucking world. For his first foray into the competition, he's decided to really go for it.
Oh my gosh!
An interior that wouldn't look out of place in a five-star hotel. The sheer height of American luxury and decadence.
Completely built out, all brand new. It has a bathroom in here with a shower.
Cherry wood cabinets, everything has been done. Check out the sink, brass sink. This would be the extreme of American luxury going down the road. How much was this thing?
This truck's only $1,500,000.
Unbelievable.
At this price, every little fantasy is permitted.
Step a little closer. Step a little closer. Oh my God!
There's an original Harley-Davidson stashed at the back of the truck. It's a first, even for Vegas.
Competition is showing up. Oh my God.
But Marie thinks she's found the Achilles heel of her rival, who she thinks is overconfident.
If I was judging this truck, the second thing I would do would be go over to these fenders and I would do this. This is not supposed to be on a show truck. None of this dirt should be on a show truck. This is what Bill knows, my husband, this is what he knows, that you have to be clean. You have to be clean. This is good for us, though.
The three judges are in blue overalls. All are in the trucking profession, either drivers or mechanics. Bill isn't worried, even though the judges scrutinize the truck from top to bottom for an agonizing 20 minutes.
Everything's clean in here. I won't wait. Yeah.
The judges are looking for the slightest imperfection to take these kings of the road down a peg or two. There are stains on the chimney and a small dent on the paintwork.
You can see it starting to come apart.
These little details can bring down the final mark. The Sandwicks will now find out the verdict.
We're not picky. We'll take everything. We're not picky. We'll take whatever. 1, 2, 3, we don't care.
Whatever they think we should have.
Just like in the Oscars, there's a prize for each category. The best paint job, best engine, but the only one that really counts is the prize for the most beautiful truck.
The winner of this award, and it goes to Marcel.
In the end, a Canadian trucker takes away the most coveted prize. For him, it's not about winning money, but securing a great publicity coup. The photos of his truck will be published in all the industry's newspapers and magazines. But Marie can't help but be a sore loser.
To us, it's too busy, but a lot of people do like that truck. It's got like a whole story to it, their truck. Our truck doesn't have a story. It's more modern, more young, the newer generation, and different school.
What with the travel and the maintenance costs, these contests cost the Sandwicks much more money than they bring in. But this defeat doesn't stop them. In a few months' time, Bill and Marie will try their luck again at another contest in Dallas.
No way is Bill going to stop showing, not now. So we're going to do it and do it and do it and do it again.
As their spectacular convoy plows across the vast expanses of America, reminiscent of the early pioneers, this is perhaps the last trace of romance in the truck driving dream.